Am I the butthole for fixing my mother-in-law's dress so she could wear it to sister-in-law's wedding? I love my mother-in-law. She can be kind of annoying and difficult, more in a socially awkward way, but I chose to let it go. Sister-in-law, my husband's brother's wife, is a bit more neurotic and controlling than me, and they clash. I find sister-in-law very uptight, and try to avoid her, which doesn't really work because she can't stand when someone doesn't like her. Anyway, they got married recently, and mother-in-law wore lilac, not white, freaking lilac, but sister-in-law was upset because she thought it was too light. Mother-in-law and I were invited to get ready with the bridal party, and I heard sister-in-law complaining about the dress being too light for the mother of the groom. I told her that if it was white I would be on her side, but mother-in-law looked fine. Well, sister-in-law accidentally spilled coffee all over the skirt. I don't believe her for a moment that it was accidental. She even smirked when she apologized. Leading up to the wedding, she had made comments about her mother-in-law should dress more like her mom, who is probably 10 to 15 years older than mother-in-law and at least 100 pounds heavier. I don't think mother-in-law has to look frumpy just because she has adult sons. Sister-in-law had a spare dress, probably because the coffee was premeditated, and she seemed so proud of herself for trying to force mother-in-law into a frumpy and very cheap-looking dress. Sister-in-law doesn't know this, but my mom was a seamstress and I worked for her all through high school. We had enough time before the wedding for me to run to a store and get supplies, so I took mother-in-law in the bathroom, cut the damaged part of the dress, and fixed it. Sister-in-law was furious when we came out, so mother-in-law ended up wearing the too light color, but now it was even shorter and probably too sexy for the mother of the groom in sister-in-law's opinion. I didn't think anything of it, and we had a great night. Sister-in-law confronted me recently and said that was a bitchy thing to do. It put a damper on her night, and I should have supported her because she was the bride and lilac is some grievous sin. NTA, it's so nice to see a story with a nice mother-in-law. Your sister-in-law should count her blessings. We see enough stories of the mother-in-law in actual white, and lilac is really okay. Isn't lilac kind of a classic mother of the bride/groom color? I feel like lilac and navy make up like 75% of mother of dresses. Sister-in-law is nuts. Pastels in general are super common. I think my aunt's mauve dress was a light gold color for my cousin's wedding. My mom got a few comments for wearing a bright raspberry-colored dress to my brother's wedding, and a striking emerald green dress to my wedding. I'm sure those busybodies would have preferred her dressed in something more subdued, like lilac, lol. Actually, I'm pretty sure my brother's mother-in-law wore lilac, ice purple. Regardless, Mom looked stunning at both weddings and the brides and grooms involved were all happy with her outfit choices. Some people need to get over themselves. I honestly don't understand how people can care that much. I don't want to worry about somebody else's dress on my wedding day. Right? My mother-in-law was so concerned about what to wear to my wedding, and would I be happy with her dress choice. I asked her, "Do you like your dress? Do you feel beautiful in your dress? It is a wedding dress? If it's yes to the first two, and no to the last, then wear it." And unless one of my guests announced they were going to wear the Borat bathing suit, I gave no craps about what they were wearing either. I've got more than enough stuff on my plate to worry about other people were wearing. I now need to be invited to a wedding so I can wear the mankini and proclaim great success. When the bride and groom leave. If I ever get married, you are hired. I'm already married and regret not having hired this guy for my wedding. I'd get married specifically so I can invite you. His wife. I really want to have a costume wedding for many reasons and pop a fake mustache on that crap and you're hired. My ex-father-in-law did this when he remarried. Halloween is his favorite holiday, and he is incredibly creative and artistically talented, so they married on Halloween night, and made the reception a costume party, with contests and everything. It was the most fun I've ever had at a wedding. They dressed in a traditional tux/wedding dress, and for the reception, made themselves half dead wed. They left the wedding looking normal, and showed up at the reception with zombie/living dead makeup on one half of each of their bodies and clothes. The dress was torn and bloody, full of leaves on one side, perfectly normal on the other, same with the tux. He really did a great job, they looked amazing. That's so wonderful. The fun factor is such a major part of why if I ever get married I want it to be costumed. It just combines a lot of things I love. My then boyfriend wore the Borat mankini in the bedroom as a surprise very early on in our relationship. I married him. I just picture that as right there, and then you were like, "We're going to Vegas. Don't change." I went with my mom to pick out her dress, and there was a sample one she tried on that was gorgeous on her. It had short sleeves, was knee length, all over lace and a little bit of sparkle in it. The store was selling that particular sample dress at a discount and it fit her perfectly. Only thing was that it was a very light beigey blush color that almost looked ivory. I said I didn't care because obviously I was the bride in my big ball gown dress. She was uncomfortable though and ended up ordering a different one that she ended being a little unhappy with. I always wish she had spent less and gone with the sample dress and been happy. Now this would have been the right time for a bridezilla tantrum. You love that dress, and you look great in that dress, and it's my day and I want you to wear that dress and look fantastic in all the photos, so just get the dress. Stamped foot. Benevolent bridezilla. Can we get more of these? Now I want to make a comic or something revolving around benevolent bridezillas lol. Benevolent Bridezillas is a show I can actually get behind. Similar story, except my mother tried on a black dress with nude lining. She looked absolutely incredible and I could tell she felt amazing. But she was so worried about wearing black to my wedding and didn't want anyone thinking she was making a point of being in mourning on my wedding day. She did go with the dress though and looked stunning. I don't understand the black must mean mourning idea. All three mothers, Mill, Mom, Stepmom, ended up wearing black at my wedding and I didn't think twice about it. What color was the groom's tux, if there was a groom, and did she have any worries people would think he was in mourning? Though more seriously, I'm glad she went with the dress, and I hope you both had a great day. Even though you were okay with it, someone else may have made a comment and made her feel bad. Should have washed it with a red sock. Such a shame. I made my mom use a beautiful white lace with silver sequins accent dress. She looked amazing. For my mother-in-law a dust pink one with black lace and shimmery sequins too. They deserve to look beautiful too. Either way I was using a puffy strapless ivory gown so nobody was stealing my spotlight. Yeah, but the ivory dress would have had people snickering behind their hands at her, thinking less of her, possibly for life, and even questioning her sanity. It's not about competing with the bride. It's about giving the appearance of being less intelligent and less stable than you actually are. Unfortunately, women over 50 can so easily gain the reputation of being less than. My mother was nearly 70 when my sister got married, and my sister advised that an acceptable color would be ivory. So my mother got an ivory dress. It was noticeably darker than white. The sister of the groom wore silver. I, however, wore a black dress with all these colored stripes on it. There were no complaints about what anyone wore, as far as I know. But then we're a pretty unbitchy lot. The brother of the groom, however, pulled out a top hat with corks dangling from it, to acknowledge that our family's from Australia. This was during the best man speech, though, so it got a round of laughs. He didn't wear it for the actual ceremony. Though I think there would only have been mild objections to it. Isn't it possible to dye dresses? Same. I could not believe how much people thought I cared what they wore to my wedding. My mother and mother-in-law wanted me to approve their dresses. My cousin wanted to know if it was okay if her son didn't wear a suit jacket. I was like, I literally will not notice or care what you wear, I promise. And I absolutely did not. Everybody looked great. If someone else had worn a wedding dress, it would have been hilarious. My mother was the same. So worried. I just wanted her to feel comfy. I agree. I just wanted everyone I love to feel beautiful and comfy, and to leave feeling like they ate a year's worth of good food and drink. Same. Also maybe not remembering the event the next day. I sure as hell didn't thanks to absinthe and cocktail slushes. We moved from our wedding to a cool bowling alley, where we bowled and did shots of tequila. My husband went home to drop off his tux. It had to be returned the next day, and I finished the night in a pub, with 3 good female friends while we waited for my husband. I had about 50 buttons down the back of my dress, so my good friend decided to give my husband a head start on doing them. So I finished my wedding day in a bar, sans husband and being undressed by a female friend. The poor waiter was so confused. I agree that there must be some more important things on your wedding than someone else's dress, your spouse is for one thing. However, I got to say that if someone of your future family-in-law, be it mother or sister-in-law, dresses in a white wedding dress on your wedding day, I think it's legitimate to at least have an alarm ringing at the back of your head, cause that's some effed up rude crap and you know your life with the in-laws ain't going to get better. Please make exceptions for young guns who don't know any better. When I was 15, I went to my boyfriend's older brother's wedding. I wore a dress. I thought it was sophisticated and appropriate, but then one of the other guests said, "It's rather bold of you to wear a white lace dress to a wedding other than your own," and looked down her nose at me. Until that moment, I had no idea that I had committed some social fashion faux pas. I was mortified. I recently asked my mom why she let me go to a wedding dressed in a white dress, and she said she'd never heard that that was a no-no. She said, "It never would have occurred to me that anyone would mistake you for the bride, or think you were trying to show her up." Web link. Yikes, that's a bad situation to find yourself in. How did the bride react? I mean by my comment, in-laws who wear white to steal the spotlight because they can't support not to be the center of attention, or in a weird territorial kind of way. You just genuinely did not know that you usually don't wear white to someone else's wedding, unless it's specified. You were mortified, and I bet you didn't try to steal the show with your dress when you realized your mistake. There were no malicious intentions on your part. As far as I know, the bride never even noticed. I think the lady who said it was just one of those nosy old church biddies who love telling others what they're doing wrong. To be frank, my mother-in-law attempted a floor-length lace ivory dress that was passed off in conversation as everything from light beige to taupe. Sure enough, once we saw it pre-wedding. Floor-length lace ivory. I've attended many a wedding over the years, and I can't recall a single dress anyone wore, brides included. Some crap just doesn't matter, you know. My mother-in-law wore a sage green summer pants set, and my mom wore a striped purple dress to my wedding. It was outside. People were shocked my mother-in-law didn't wear a dress, but she's 5 feet 0 inches and hates wearing skirts because they make her look shorter and heavier than she is. She felt good, so I was thrilled. Everyone else could kick rocks. Her outfit sounds really nice. I had so many people come up to me at my wedding and tell me how great my mother-in-law looked. I loved it. She wore a nice, sleeveless silver/sequin dress that even had a little train on it. She looked stunning, and I think people are so used to frumpy dresses that they weren't expecting it. My mother-in-law looking great didn't take away how good I looked, and those comments didn't mean that people cared about her more than me, or that my day was ruined. The wedding was better because everyone tried to look good. My mom wore a black sequin dress to my wedding. She looked effing fantastic in it, and I couldn't imagine her in anything else once I saw it. I know some people have feelings about women wearing black to a wedding, but whatever. Lol. My mom wore sapphire blue and his mom wore magenta. I just didn't want them in my wedding colors. Glad our family wasn't the only ones to not do traditional colors. Although I had a hell of a time talking my mom out of a gold dress. I think that not my wedding colors is extremely reasonable. I think sister-in-law was just using the fact that mother-in-law's dress was pastel to make a scene. I'm pretty sure my mom will wear something that's a stunning red, with plenty of cleavage, and I won't care, because why would I want my mom to look frumpy in my wedding photos? But maybe I'm weird about it because I'm the spitting image of her, so my mom looking good at my wedding would be a point of pride for me. Definitely wouldn't want her upstaging me, but that's kind of hard to do when the bride's been having her face and hair professionally painted on for 3 hours already, like in most weddings. I think I love your mama, heart. I always wear a suit. Pinstripe mostly. And I'm a female, so it is a bit odd in my family. Your mom sounds like she wears her clothes with pride. I wish I could do that with any color. To be honest. Yeah. My stepsister chose a dress for her mother-in-law for her wedding last year, right before COVID hit us where we are, and it was a lovely light, dusky blue with a small train. She looked amazing. Sister-in-law is just unreasonable. Pastel colors are common precisely because they're not bold and don't attract attention as much as, say, a red. Sister-in-law would have found issues with mother-in-law looking halfway good no matter what color the dress was. She's just jealous of anyone else potentially getting any attention. Should have had a highlighter yellow dress as a backup. Yep. She would have drawn every eye. Go sewing skills. As a crafter who sews a lot, you are a hero who shows what a pair of scissors, pins, needle, and thread can do against the evils of bridezillas and spiteful people in general. NTA. Put lilac fabric next to white fabric and there's no way they can be confused. Exactly. My mother-in-law wore light purple, lilac? Blush purple? To my wedding. Trust me, no one confused the two of us. NTA. TBH, if the guests coming to your wedding can't recognize you regardless of what you're wearing, why are they even there? I never understood this very well. Or because the bride should wear a fancier dress than a guest. In modern times, it's not about guests not recognizing the bride, and more about the guests assuming the person is making a statement. Me mistaking a random guest for the bride, aren't you supposed to be up at the front? My best friend's wedding colors were lilac, so all us bridesmaids had lilac gowns. Sister-in-law is just the real bridezilla in this. Pastels are fine and there's no way you would be mistaken when everyone is coming to the wedding knowing who the bride is. If it was white then like that would be different, but it just sounds like sister-in-law is the ass in all of this. Crap, my mother-in-law wore a beaded beige dress and jacket for our wedding and I didn't give a crap because it wasn't white and that's all I really care about. Laughing out loud, lilac is so not a problem, what a dummy. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.